All right. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome everyone to today's broadcast. This is Dr. Joe Blake here with the Axel Financial Literacy Center through Blake Media. And hey, I want to say, hey, it's Saturday morning. Good to see everybody here. And I'm back from my vacation in Vegas, and it was wonderful. I was there with my grandkids, my wife and I, and it was cool. My son was there, but hey, and the parents, but I was there to see we were there to see the grandkids. It was a good thing. It was cool. It's fun. Spent the whole week there. Um, and a lot of walking. My goodness, man, did a lot of walking. My ankle was hurting, but I didn't pay no attention because it was just such a relaxing time there, and but it was good. It was, it's always a good time when you get a chance to relax and just spend time away from the house and out in the environments. It was kind of chilly there too, though. I was kind of surprised, even seeing some snow flurries. Yeah, snow flurries in Vegas. Very minor, but still slow snow flurries. Um, but I had a wonderful time. Still had a wonderful time there. Today's broadcast, we're talking about today is going to be financial reason, season, and a lifetime. Reason, season, and a lifetime. Um, did some thinking over the week vacation, and I had some thoughts. Found this meme on Facebook. I was trying to find out where I got it from. So because I always like to give credit where I found it. If I don't find it before we end the broadcast, I found. I'll find the exact place where I got it from, but it made me had me thinking. So I wanted to share some of the insights that I got from it, and I kind of put my own little spin to it because I started from a financial standpoint. Because things come into our lives financially for a reason, a season, and a lifetime as well, and we have to be able to pinpoint it and be able to look at it, see it, and grab a hold of it as also, and find those things that come into our life, grab it, use it, and make sure it becomes a part of us so we can capture it. Now, let me share what I have so far here. This is my uh, part of the presentation here. Let's oh here. Let's show the full screen here. It's not going to show the full screen. Let's see here. Uh, let's see. Oh, it's not going to show the full screen. View and full screen. I think it's a full screen now. Oh, but I'm going. Make sure. You may see my grandson in the background. He's I call him number one. Number one is my oldest grandson. He's 13. You may see him in the background. He's got a little tiger. That's because that guy was he was he was uh in Thailand with me when I went to see him back in November. So yeah, I've been traveling across the planet here quite a bit. But I wanted to show have that there as well. But anyway, the PowerPoint presentation I have here, it shows it shows my grandson here. Uh, this is my youngest one, the baby. That's Joe Blake the fourth, and then that's Aiden. Aiden there. Aiden is the number. Aiden is gonna be number eight. So that's eight grandsons. That's Joe Blake the fourth and his big brother. So I wanted to show those two together there, so you can see those two. And then there's my wife. She was there with some guy that's kind of doing his own thing there. So not too sure how he's doing that, but he's standing on his he's standing on his side there somehow. Not sure how he's doing that, but he's that was in Vegas. Vegas always has this little side show with guys doing their thing, and but it was good because Vegas always has those little shows where they have guys doing their thing, and kids see that they get a kick out of it because they get a chance to see something wild like that. And they're like, oh wow, they're all smiles, and they're there and they see it, and kids love that, man. I mean, the kids love it, and it's wonderful when they're able to see that. So here we'll start out with our first scripture here, talking about Hebrews chapter 6 verse 12, and it's be not slothful. This is the King James version. Don't be followers of them who through faith and patience inherit the promises. So it's basically don't be lazy, but you follow those who through faith and patience inherit the promise. So when I thought about the financial reason, season, lifetime, I thought about that. Don't be lazy, but you follow those who through faith and patience inherit their promises. They inherit the things that God has called them to do. So that was the scripture that I saw and I felt in that. So when you're looking at the reason, and when I said the reason, when you're looking at reasons, I thought about how you hear or how I heard financial things. One of the things I heard financially was uh, about when I bought my Tesla stock. So a reason is usually when you meet a need, you have you express, or you just felt something inside. You heard it. You may have heard it through a hard time. Someone provided you some guidance or support. It came through a time when you needed something physically, emotionally, or spiritually, and then all of a sudden the person appears in your life, and they're there to meet a need for work to be done. So when I bought my house, um, I want my house. I bought my house. I bought it solar ready because I wanted to have solar panels in my home. Because when I was going through my doctoral program, I learned about. Um, uh, that's when I became um, green. I was a green energy guy. I started learning about uh, replace solar power and learning about it and everything. I said, you know what? I got to get when I get my house built. I want to get solar panels built in. So in 2014, 2013, 2012, my house was built. 2013, when I moved in, I already knew I wanted to have solar panels in my home. The solar panel company that was a part of my home builder, they didn't put the house in, but they built it solar ready. The second company came along with Solar City. So I was like, well, the other guys didn't want to do it, but Solar City came along, they wouldn't put it in. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna just roll with Solar City because they came in, they wanted to do it. Well, while they were doing that, I was, around that time, just talk 2013 now, I was looking at getting another car around that time frame too. And while my wife and I were talking to Solar City, we were like, this may be a good idea to get some of these stocks and see how this works out because, we like solar panels. We like the idea of having solar panels. And so we said, okay. And I like the solar cars. And, I mean, then I started reading about Tesla back then in 2013, 2014. That's it. And then the guy who came over said, this guy right here that owns this Solar City, he's a cousin of this guy named, Elon Musk. And, they're talking about maybe having their solar cars and the Teslas. I was like, wow, for real? I was like, man, maybe I don't know. So what we did, we got the solar panels on our home in 2013, 2014. We moved in 13, got into 2014. So we ended up buying some Solar City stock back then, and because we this guy said maybe this may work out. You never know. So we heard it through the grapevine, so to speak. And 2016, no, 2018 is when I got my Tesla. So 4 years later, but we had Solar City beforehand, and what do you know? It all happened. Just some sales guy, and I was just trying to get solar panels in my house. Good thing I did, man. Solar panels are good, man. It does keep your electricity down, it really does. But from a financial standpoint, I wanted to get solar because I knew it was better energy wise. I knew it was going to save me money, and I know electric cars was better because I bought my wife two electric cars before I got my own. She had the Leaf and a dang on Chevy Bolt before I got my Tesla. So she was already into the electric thing before I even got mine. So she had that experience and everything. So from a financial standpoint, that was an absolute good reason that we got into it at that time frame. And I was going through working on my doctoral degree at that time, and that's why I did it. So I said, you know what, I wanted to get into that at that time. So just from hearing it, and that guy. And obviously, fast forward now is even more so, but I'll get to that soon. So that was a reason for it. There was a need I had, and then this I don't even know where the guy's at, but that was the need at that time. So in the beginning, we got into Solar City in 2014, and then it was 2023 now. Obviously, Tesla stock split twice. So at one point we had 50, now they're like 300 shares. So obviously, and this doesn't give you this is just a blank slide here. It just show you how, you after your stock split a couple of times, it's going to grow just like this. See how green started category one, and then in category four, it grows like that. That's how growth works. You got to start small and then work your way up. This is just a blank chart, but I just wanted to show you a chart and how it looks when you get started. May not be all that when you're starting with in the first area with green, but in the end, it mounts up as you go along. You may not see it in the beginning, may not feel it in the beginning, but in the end, it grows. Now, season. So you got the reason. Sometimes people come into your life for a season, right? They come into your life for a season. The reason comes along, they come in for that reason. Then they come in for a season. They come into your life for a season because it's your turn to come to share, to grow, to give back, to bring your experience or peace, or to make people laugh, to bring joy. And you have to believe that it's accurate for you. You believe that it's your turn now to give. Um, but they come into your life for a season. They're there for a season, and I call this the Oliver effect, because I have this friend. His last name was Oliver, but this one guy came into my life. This one guy. He was there when I met my wife. He was there when he got me involved in one church I started going to, and then he was there when I started doing my finance business. This one guy, came in for that season, and then he left. He's still around. I see my man all the time. He lives on the other side of where I live at and everything. But that one guy came in for that season, did what God had put him in my life for, and then poof, he wasn't gone, but he served the purpose for that season in my life, and I'm glad he was there. I'm glad he came into my life. I'm glad he introduced me to, he was there when those three elements of my life occurred, because who knows where I would be if he not had not have done that, had not have pushed that. Because I mean, I've read the Bible front to back 8 different times now. It wasn't for me going through that. I mean, that helped me do my research and for my book and everything. I don't have a book, but that helped me write my. I mean, the Bible was a good basis for my book that I wrote as well. Um, I mean, I got saved because of it. Became a better person because of all of that. And my finance business, was it the 4th of April, the 4th of February, made 29 years. I've been in that same finance business, 29 years. That's a long time. 29 is a long time. But I love it. I mean, I love what I do. I love being able to share the good information and everything. But I call it the Oliver effect. The Oliver effect, because that guy came in for that season, and that season still serves me for today. So, we purchased those Solar City stocks, and they're still working for us. So, because when we got them, they were X dollars. Now we got three times the amount. Still works out. And so along the way, we found out that Panasonic makes those batteries. So Panasonic makes batteries for solar. They make the batteries for a couple other electric companies too. So along your way, you may hear some other things. You may reach out and try to do those as well. But there's more than one way to capture success. There's not just one stock, it's not just one house, not one real estate investment. You got to get a little bit of everything to make it happen. And remember, money is just a tool. Like, these are all different money from different countries. This is American dollar. Money is what that society says money is. It's just a tool. So, you know when that person comes in your life for that season, you capture whatever knowledge, wisdom, and information they have to share with you, and then you move on. I'm so glad I'm so glad that Mr. Oliver was in my life at that time, and he performed the purpose that God sent him in my life to do. And because he was like, Joe, want to go to church with me? Nah, man, I ain't going to church. Mm-mm. Man, that was bad. Every time I see him, I tell him I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Vince. I mean, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I would, man. I use four-letter words. No, I ain't going to church. Blah 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 blah. Whew. I was. I'm glad though he got me in there and where I'm at today. But I'm glad he came in my life for that season. All right. All right. So then so you got the reason someone comes in there, they got to answer something, and then they're in there for that season to get you exposed, to get you to bring out the grow and the give back that you have, right, and help you laugh along the way. Then that life lesson, the life lessons that come from that. So you got that reason, you got this even that you got the reason, then you got the season, the life lesson. I see that as like a book. You're able to go back and open that book of what you just learned, what you just went through. You can open that book each time and you can go back to that chapter in your life and refer to it or refer from it and be able to share that with whoever's there with you, whoever's there along your journey. Either they've come and gone or they're still there with you. You're able to open that book and you're able to continue that journey along. They're able to continue that journey along with you. If they're right beside you, you're still along that journey. Or if they're distant from you, they're still along that journey. Like when I was in Vegas, I was talking to my son. Now my boy he's 35, so he's a grown man. He's got his own things, but still he's talking to his dad. So a lifetime financial lesson. Relationships teach you things for that lifetime. You can build upon it. You have a solid emotional and a financial foundation. Your job is to accept the lesson, love the person that gave you that lesson, use what you've learned to benefit yourself and others. So you got to follow that course. Don't bail out. Whatever you get started, follow that course until you're successful. Don't be bailing out. don't be jumping out. Don't be jumping out of a perfectly good plane. You know, except for you if you're going skydiving like Stewart did. You're going to jump out of a plane. You have a parachute, have somebody in your back help showing you. But don't be bailing out just because this don't look good. I don't feel right. If you're going down the course, you're going down the course for a reason. You finish it. You finish it until it's done. Once you find your sweet spot in what you're doing, roll with it. Now I've been in, like I said, I've been in finance for 29 years. It has not been hunky dory the whole 29. Has not. Sometimes been good, sometimes not been good. Sometimes it's fine, but you stay on that course. Stay on that course, and you be successful. Sometimes you got attached. Sometimes some people will be attached to you. Some people will be separated from you. But you stay on that course of what you've been called to do. You be successful. So, but that lifetime lesson, just batteries. You plug them. Parallel series is one of the things in the fire department. You have batteries plugged up at a certain connection. They're more powerful. DNA in our bodies. DNA is connected a certain way. That DNA, I guess some things that I do, I look at my kids. My goodness, man, those they do the same thing because it's based on the DNA that's inside of me. It's funny how that works. But from a lifetime, that lesson, you can open up that book and you can read from that lesson, read from that book, from that chapter, and you can share it with someone else, and they can have the same, they can do the same thing. But if you don't have that life lesson to teach from or to share from of your own, then you can't go nowhere. You know, do you want you have to ask yourself, do you want your life to be a lesson or an example? An example is like, oh no, I don't want to do that. A lesson is like, yeah, you can show this person how to do this, and they can do the same thing, and they can experience or receive what you've done. They may not have the same results. This could be greater, but at least you got something to show them, and they can follow it. They got a script they can go from and use it. All right, so go back and look at that timeline. So reason is usually when you meet a need you have expressed or you just felt. So that's when that person comes into your life for a reason. That reason is there. You need this. You need something. You express it. Okay, I need this. I need this. And then you have to express that reason. Then it shows up. Then that person comes in for a season. That season comes in your life for a financial season and is there to serve you. That's the Oliver effect comes in. That person comes into your life, and next thing you know, they come in and for me, it was he introduced me to church. He introduced me to my business, and he was there when I met my spouse. That was their season. That was that season right there. And then that poof out. And then the lifetime. I can go back and look at this book I created of lessons in my life, and I can read from it and I can share with others. And there's some people that are in my life right now that are connected with me now. We're reading through the life lessons that we have, and we share with ourselves, and then we share with others. And then there's some people that'll be attached to you, and then there's some folks that be taken away from you. But in your mind, you stay on the course of what I said God has chosen for you to share, and you can continue on. That's why I have like a book series we have on Mondays. We read books and we share thoughts about being successful, being the best person you can be. So when people come see you, they see the best version of you that helps them to become successful. I like sharing and getting and having knowledge and understanding that we can give to others. So that's the timeline. You got the reason, you express that. You got the season. That person comes in to help you and they're just there for that season to help get that information out. Then in lifetime, you get that lesson that you can share with others. You have a lesson you can share. You don't want to be an example because these are the example is like, oh, nope, I don't want to do that. I don't want. That's an example you don't want to follow. You want a lesson that you can learn. Lessons are repeatable. Lessons that you can teach it. You can teach from. You know, that's my analogy on it. You know, lesson or example. All right. So summary. So think about it. What I've shared so far. Think about it. Think about the people in your life over the years. Were they there for a reason, a season, or a lifetime? Because there's some people that are still in my life, their lifetime. May not be as close to them as I used to be, but they're still in my life for a lifetime. I accept them. I treasure them. I treasure them for however long they've been in my life. Whenever I see Vince, I still high five that brother for being in my life and coming in there and just being the person he was to keep me to help keep me grounded, kept me going in the right place. My mentor Hill Cox and Dr. Craig were two guys that were and they're still in my life, and I may not be as close to them as I used to be, but they're still there, and I see them whenever I see them. I still glean from them. So, what about your life? How about the folks that have been in your life? Are you still there? Do you still accept information from them? And are you thankful for the gifts that they gave you? The reason, the season they were in your lifetime, in your life, during those times. Think of those. So, with that, that's what I want to. See, thank you for listening. Thank you for being there. Thank you for hearing what I had to share. Because sometimes it's not only what you say that matters, what you hear that matters is what you do. And this last little meme here, I want to show you this one here. It says, I pay attention to actions, not necessarily words all the time. Because I heard what you said, but I have to see how you act as well. Your actions, they do speak loud. And the lessons that you shared, you show, your actions do speak. Your actions do share. Your actions say a lot. So you have to along with the reading that you do, along with the things that you share, along with all of the um, I don't know, all the activities that you do in life. Sometimes I see a lot of posts on Facebook and people put special sayings on Facebooks and think and I got to see you doing something too. See your actions, see your fruits of what you've done. Know that you're a giving person. Know that you're a helpful person. Know that you're uh, a loving person as well. And so I hope you gained something from what I've shared. The reason, the season and the lifetime, and that I hope you have a lifetime lesson that you can share with others so they can go and grow from it. Uh, and I want to leave you with one question that you can think for, because like I said, the first quarter of this year we talked about being about self awareness, and one question I want you to leave you with today is one. I want you to think. I want you to thank yourself for one thing. I want you to thank yourself for one thing. And one thing that is, I want you to find out what it is. Thank yourself. I want to thank yourself for what? I want to thank myself for being dad. Because I like being a dad. I like being grandpa. It was fun. Talk to my grandson, 6 months old, the youngest one. He didn't have a clue what I was talking about, but we was talking. So with that, I want to say thank you for listening. Thank you for hearing what I had to share. And I'll see you guys again next week. Same bat channel. And this has been Dr. Blake with the Financial Literacy Center. Have a blessed, prosperous, wonderful day. Have a great one.